Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
I am Richard Steinberg. I am with a group called WestCare. I talked about it a little bit last night with some of you. WestCare has been around for only about 49 years. I've only been with them 44 years. I'm still the new kid on the block, trying to figure out what I'm doing. As I'm sitting here today, and we're doing this whole thing on ethics, and what Faden has done, excellent stuff about ethics. But I'm looking at the room, and it reminds me of when I was in school. I'm sitting there half asleep going, ethics, oh, another boring subject. And it is, until you're in the middle of it, working it every day. And then it changes. It changes for you personally. For those that are doing direct therapeutic stuff, for those that are students thinking about getting into it more and are just doing some pre-work with it now. What you do ethically every day with a client may or may not change that person's life forever in a very positive way, but what happens if you mess up? And that's also a piece. We don't come with instructions ourselves. Every one of us is an individual, and being an individual really does change, who we are in taking care of somebody else. I have a philosophy within the WestCare family. I have about 1,650, I had it wrong, Garth, yesterday, about 1,650 employees. That's a whole bunch of people. But I try to talk to them about the fact that if we make a mistake in something we're doing, or we're concerned about something we're doing, how do we self-disclose real quick so we don't feel like we're going to be in trouble about it? Because we have somebody's life on the line that we're helping. And so my whole thing to staff is, first of all, I've been there the longest, and so I've made more mistakes than everybody combined. So let me own that first. The second part, though, is to come back and talk about how you own it and how you fix it to help the people you treat. And that's a big thing. For those that don't think ethics is all that important, as I didn't when I was in school, mess up one time and have your license on the line, or have a family trying to sue you for something you did wrong. All of a sudden, you learn how to spell ethics real fast. Now, I joked about it with the leadership. I said, I don't know how to spell ethics. Why am I going to even do this? And then I was really embarrassed because Faden said it's simple when I looked in the dictionary, and it started with ethos, coming from Greek. It's like, oh, no wonder he thinks it's simple. But the flip side is it affects us all. It affects us all in a very, very big way. Those of you that are in administration of programs, all you got to do is have one serious ethical violation that hits the newspaper, the television at night on the news, and that's going to set your agency back for a year or two if you work on it real fast. People look at that and they make a judgment off a news flash about something that didn't get done appropriately in ethics. So these are issues that affect you. And you have to think about that going forward. So I ask you to look inside yourself, in your heart and in your soul. Who are you when you're working with clients? Who are you humbly running an agency rather than being cool about it? Because it's nothing about being cool about it. The minute we get cool about it, we hurt somebody. And so it's really about how humble can you be, and who are you in your heart and soul about the ethics that you're responsible for somebody else's life. That's when it gets real. It changes at that point. The work that's been done in Europe and in Australia, all of these works that were presented here today will help you going forward. But they're not always easy to put in place. WestCare, my organization, we're in 17 states in the United States, and things change state by rules, and some of the ethic issues can be an issue in one state versus the other. It gets to be a bigger issue for us when we're dealing offshore. We're doing programs in Micronesia, in Saipan, Guam, Republic of Palau. On the other side of the globe, we're also doing programs in Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands, and St. Thomas and St. Croix, and then in the Dominican Republic. Things changed ethically there. We talk about how we want you, through WFTC, World Federation, to adopt these ethics going forward. But that may not be simple in all cases because of cultural issues and diversity. A number of years back, I was in the middle of a training that was going on in Micronesia, and we had a lot of other island groups that were not well developed coming to the meeting. And I first thought this was going to be a joke, and a gentleman raises his hand from an island that's not well developed, who was trying to come and learn how to really get involved and do things right. And he got through listening, going, you know, this doesn't make sense to me. I would be in trouble and disrespected back home. I tie my children up to a tree when they're bad. I have to hit my wife at least once or twice a week in public so people know that I'm in charge. First I thought he was joking. No joke. He really felt culturally challenged at that point about what he was going to do and moving forward. So all of us in this room, moving forward yourself, what is your ethics and how are you going to implement this? Human rights is a big thing for all of us. Huge. What are we going to do about it when it's not the right piece in that culture? How do we introduce that? How do we help change without demanding change? It's a big, big issue. I just can't get over the part for me, for all of you, is that when you get to be an old guy like me and you've been around forever, all of a sudden the word ethics can become a nightmare or it becomes something really good. You can't go around and say we're cool, we do it all good, because we don't. We don't know exactly what we're doing from one moment to the next, but we try our best. I would just ask all of you, in going forward, what is in your heart and what's in your soul about taking care of folks ethically? Thank you very much.